Good morning, students. Today's topic is artificial hybridization. As we have seen yesterday, the introduction for artificial hybridization. Before we are entering into artificial hybridization, one small paragraph was cited in the textbook NCERT. That is a simple experiment to see pollen germination from normal, usually available flowers. Pollen germination can be seen in flowers of pea plants, chickpea plants, Crotalaria, fiber yielding plants. Balsam plant, Vinca rosea plant. So, if we take the flowers of any of these plants, either pea or chickpea, Crotalaria, balsam and Vinca, take the flowers and dust the pollen grains of the flowers dust the pollen grains of these flowers on a glass side having few drops of %10 sugar solution concentration. So, if you take a glass slide, on this glass slide, 1 or 2 drops of 10% sugar solution is put there. On this, take the flower of pea or chickpea or Crotalaria or balsam plant or Vinca rosea plant and dust the pollen grains on the slide. When you dust, sprinkle the pollen grains on this. Now, take this slide with pollen grains, see under the microscope after 15 to 30 minutes. 15 to 30 minutes after dust the pollen grains on the slide, 15 to 30 minutes under light microscope. We can see due to the sugar solution concentration from the areas of germ pores on the exile, intine comes out. By dissolving the germ pores, intine comes out and pollen are seen, whichever are showing, pollen are showing pollen tube growth. This process is an experiment in the PUC standard students at the end of PUC, in between during practical examination. They can ask questions. The time gap 15 to 30 minutes, sugar solution 10%, it will dissolve the germ pores. From where they will come out. This process is called germination. After this, in the NCERT textbook, we are going to study artificial hybridization process. So here, dusting of pollen grains on the glass slide to watch pollen germination. Pollen germination We can see pollen germination. What a pollen is going to germinate? A pollen is going to germinate to produce pollen tube. And we are going to count number of pollens which germinated. The ratio of number of pollens which are germinated. 1 experiment, 2 experiments, 3. So we will put them in the form of a order serial numbers and we'll give the result number of pollen grains. Experiment to see pollen grain, artificial hybridization. Now, let us see, as in the last class we have seen what is this artificial hybridization is. To study in detail, plant breeder. Plant breeder. Who is plant breeder? Which person is called plant breeder? A person who wants to cross different types of plants, belongs to different species, are often different genera. What purpose? In order to bring commercially superior hybrid plants. Commercially, which are useful. Commercially means the crop plants, commercial crop plants which are useful. He wants to improve commercial varieties of hybrids. Plant breeder, his motto is production of hybrid varieties. It means which are called commercial plants, crop plants, which are important as our crop, food, fiber, that various vegetable yields, economically important plants. Production of commercially superior or hybrid varieties. This is the motto of plant breeder. How the process of production of commercially or superior or hybrid variety comes under a separate program called crop improvement program. Crop improvement program. So crop improvement is nothing but a plant breeder wants to improve a crop variety which is commercially useful. For this crop improvement program by a plant breeder, the approach or the method or the process is going to approach. Plant breeder for this crop improvement, he is taking consideration of a process called artificial. So artificial hybridization is a method of crop improvement. Artificial hybridization is an approach for crop improvement, method of crop improvement, process of crop improvement. In crop improvement, so many are there. Out of those, so many will study this in the chapter 9th chapter, plant breeding process, in the plant breeding chapter. But here they have mentioned concisely, limited. Artificial hybridization is a method or process or approach to crop improvement. So crop improvement is a process of improving the crop. How we are going to improve the crop? By artificial hybridization. And these two comes under a science called plant breeding. So plant breeding is a science. In plant breeding, science that deals with the improvement of crop plants by artificial hybridization process. And people who are going to do plant breeding or improvement of crops or artificial hybridizations, they are considered as plant breeders. Plant breeders. So in artificial hybridization, as we have seen yesterday, we have to select good quality of plants among the normal populations. So in various populations of plant species, any crop species, if we enter a plant breeder, he will select a good plant, desirable characters. A good plant, desirable characters. Now, here, when he selected the plants, how many plants he has to select? He has to select 2 plants. Why a plant breeder has to select 2 plants, which are called parent plants? Selected parent plants should be 2. Male plant, female plant. A plant breeder, when he wants to show artificial hybridization means not natural, artificially, wantedly. He wantedly wants to produce a new variety of plant by taking 2 different plants and which are having good and bad qualities, maximum good qualities in a single plant. That is the motto of plant breeding. And that plant is a commercially useful plant. Now, this process is called crop improvement. And when a plant breeder wants to perform artificial hybridization, he has to select parent plants. These parent plants should be male and female plant. One plant should be female, one plant should be male. For example, if both the plants are having bisexual flowers, male plant is having bisexual flower, it means it is having androecium and gynoecium, bisexual, male, female. For example, female plant also having androecium and gynoecium. Both are bisexual plants. What we want? We want only male from one plant, female from another plant. What are these plants which are selected? Why they were selected? Because they are having some good characteristic features, desirable characteristic feature, wanting or wanted characteristic features, good qualities. Here it is having some good qualities, 3 or 4, it is having 2 or 3. And our expectation is we will cross these in order to get maximum possible good qualities in a single plant, which is called hybrid plant. In a single plant, maximum possible good qualities we want. That's why we are doing this wantedly, desirable pollen, male, desirable pistil, female. Here, there are some important processes. Those processes are, first one, emasculation. Emasculation. E-M-A-S-C-U-L-A-T-I-O-N. Emasculation. Emasculation means what? It is a process. What process? Let us see. Out of these 2, if you consider this as female plant, A is male plant here, B is female plant here, just for information. A B plant, which is called female plant, which is a bisexual, emasculation has to be done here. What is emasculation means? When this flower is in bud condition, when the flower is in bud condition, When this female flower or female plants, female flower, bisexual flower, when the flower is in bud condition. So it is not open, bud in condition. With the help of a forceps, open the petals slowly. When the flower is in bud condition, open the petals slowly. With the help of a forceps, remove the anthers from the stamens. So emasculation is a process of removal of anthers, removal of anthers from the stamens when the flower is in bud condition with the help of forceps. Forceps is that instrument to remove this simply. When the flower is in bud condition, open the flowers with the help of forceps. Slowly, just cut the anthers and throw out the anthers. The process of removal of anthers from the stamens with the help of forceps when the flower is in bud condition. My dear student, question comes here. Sir, why we should remove the anthers from the stamen when the flower is in bud condition? Because when the flower is in bud condition, there is no chance of maturity of these pollen grains in the anthers, and there is no chance of falling the pollen grains here. As and when flower opens, after some time, generally pollen grains become mature, anthers become mature, and they will produce pollen grains. They will release. So before to the release or before to the maturity of pollen grains, when the flower is in bud condition, we want what we want? We want to stop that self-pollination. Oh, emasculation is a process of emasculation. Emasculation is a process indirectly to stop unwanted self-pollination. If we are not going to show emasculation, if we are not going to do emasculation, automatically from the anthers, pollen grains will release, they may fall on the stigma. We don't want that. We want our desirable pollen. We don't want a generalized, it is an artificial process of hybridization. We want to see what happens when a desirable pollen is dusted on a desirable stigma. Which type of flowers we are expecting? This is the process of hybridization. Here, to avoid emasculation is a process. Emasculation is a process to stop unwanted self-pollination. If we are not removing this, it will go for self-pollination. Now, once a female plant flower, bisexual flower, remove their anthers. Now it becomes having only stigma, but it is open, no? There is a chance that when it is open and stigma is exposed, there is a chance that from some other plant, some other flowers, by wind or by insects, pollen grain may fall. We don't want that. This is called cross-pollination. Unwanted, undesirable cross-pollination may occur, may happen. So we don't want that. What we want? We want artificial From a desirable pollen, from a desirable stigma, we are expecting a desirable hybrid plant with maximum superior qualities. So, whenever or in a female plant, in a flower having bisexual, after the removal of anthers by emasculation process, we have to cover this flower. We have to cover this flower with the help of a bag, polythene bag or butter paper. The process, emasculation is a process to stop unwanted self-pollination. After emasculation, there is another process, bagging. B-A-G-G-I-N-G. Bagging is a process after emasculation. With the help, cover the emasculated flower, cover the emasculated, this is emasculated means anthers are removed. Cover the emasculated flower with a polythene bag. Polythene cover, generally butter paper. Why, sir? We have to cover and put a thread like this. Bag, polythene bag or buttercup paper. Because we want to stop unwanted cross pollination. So bagging is a process of covering the emasculated flower with a polythene bag or buttercup paper to avoid undesirable cross pollination. What are these two terms associated with emasculation and bagging? Emasculation is the first one. Second one is bagging. In which plants or in which flowers emasculation and bagging will be carried out? Emasculation is carried out in female plants which are having bisexual flower, and we want to consider this plant as a female plant. How? If it is having bisexual, it is a bisexual. And there is a chance that self-pollination may occur. That's why we are going to stop this self-pollination before it is opening. So when the flower is in bud condition, with the help of a forceps, we are going to remove and cut the anthers. Removal of anthers with the help of forceps when the flower is in bud condition is called emasculation. It is to stop unwanted self-pollination. Now it is free. So now it is called female flower. To this female flower, we want to stop, we want to avoid unwanted or undesirable cross-pollination. If you keep it like this open, automatically cross-pollination may occur. So, to stop or to avoid cross-pollination, we are going to go for a process called bagging. Bagging is nothing but cover the emasculated flower with a polythene bag or buttercup paper to avoid undesirable cross-pollination. So, emasculation and bagging are the two important steps in artificial hybridization. After bagging, for a male plant, for a male flower, there is no requirement of emasculation and bagging. Why? We want only pollen. This is a desirable plant, selected parent plant, male flower. A male flower consists of stamen, anther. When it becomes mature, let us take the pollen grains on a brush. With the help of a brush, collect the pollen grains and open the bag. Dust the pollen grains on the stigma. The process of collection of pollen grains from the desirable male plant or male flower and dusting the pollen grains on the female flower by opening the bag is called artificial pollination, cross pollination. Transfer of pollen grains from the anthers to the stigma of the flower is called pollination. So artificial pollination, emasculation, bagging. Third step, artificial crossing. Artificial crossing. What is artificial crossing? Just now we have seen. From the desirable male plant, collect the pollen grains and drop on the female stigma by opening the bag, dusting the pollen grains on the stigma. Collection of pollen and dusting, sprinkling, dusting the pollen on stigma of female flower by opening the bag. Collection of pollen, I repeat, and dusting the pollen on stigma of female flower by opening the bag. Okay, sir, it is opened. We have opened and we have dusted. There is a chance if we left like this, there is a chance some other pollen grains from other sources may fall. Contamination. Contaminated means when so many pollen grains of unwanted species, undesirable pollen may fall by insects or wind. So, after artificial crossing, rebagging. Fourth step. What is rebagging? After artificial crossing, to stop contamination of cross pollination, to avoid contamination, when two or more are dropped, contaminated, polluted, to avoid contamination, the artificially crossed flower has to be rebagged. To avoid contamination, artificially crossed flower has to be rebagged. So, my dear students, in artificial hybridization, we have studied what artificial hybrid. It is a method, it is a process. In this method or process is to improve crop plants. Crop improvement is the program. So, it is a step in crop improvement, and the total process is plant breeding. It is a science. So, during plant breeding, we want to develop commercially superior varieties of plants which are called hybrids. From where? By crossing two different species, desirable species, to different even genera, or to different plant groups. Here, the process is we have to select the desirable plants, parent plants. What is this parent plant? Desirable. Desirable means whichever characters we want, whichever qualities we want, we have to select them. After selection, first step, emasculation. Out of the two, one has to become female plant, one has to become male plant. After this, bagging. Bagging is a process where to avoid the purpose of emasculation, to avoid self-pollination. The purpose of bagging, to avoid cross-pollination. Both self-pollination and cross-pollination are undesirable, because we want artificial crossing. Wanted pollen, wanted stigma. Collection of pollen and dusting the pollen on stigma of female flower by opening the bag. Again, once it is finished artificial cross, there is a chance of contamination. So, rebag to avoid contamination. Artificially crossed flower has to be rebagged. Left it like that, and it will goes on for the next process, that is post-pollination event, that is germination of pollen tube, reaching the ovarian ovule, inside the ovule, embryo sac. After that, fertilization proceeds. A new hybrid seeds can be produced, hybrid fruits can be produced, with which we will drop on the ground and we will develop a new variety of plant. Now, some questions are there, some concepts are there. In which plants, neat questions, in which plants emasculation is not required? They will use statement type of question. They will use in which plants, or they will use names in which of the following plants, or they will give various statements, may be correct or wrong. In which plants emasculation is not required? In which plants emasculation is not required? If the plant is having unisexual female flower. So when a plant is bisexual, there is a requirement of emasculation to stop self-pollination. But when the plant is unisexual female, if the plant is, answer question, if the plant is unisexual female, so if the plant is unisexual female only, it will not have any androecium or stamens to remove the anthers. So there is no requirement of emasculation. But another question, if a plant is having unisexual female flower, what is required? Bagging is required. For the above plant, bagging, only bagging is required. Why, sir? This is a unisexual female flower. There is a chance some other pollen grains may fall on the stigma. So, undesirable cross-pollination. So, in unisexual female plants, emasculation is not required, but compulsorily bagging is required. Next, in a unisexual male plant, what is required? Both emasculation and bagging are not required in a unisexual male plant. If a plant is unisexual male plant, what happens? Which is required and which is not required? For example, this is unisexual male plant having only stamens. Selected, unisexual male plant selected. Whether it requires emasculation? No. Whether it requires any bagging? No. So, if a plant is unisexual male plant, both emasculation and bagging are not Required. Both emasculation and bagging are not required for a plant. What we want? We want only pollen grains from this. This is a desirable male plant, selected male plant. We take only pollen grains and we will take this. So importance is here with female flower. Why? Female flower is going to produce seeds and fruits. Male flowers are not going to produce seeds and fruits. So the importance for emasculation and bagging. Now, some other possible questions are there which are previously asked in the various types of national examinations and state board examinations, CET and NEET, AIMS or JIPMER. What are those questions, sir? Sir, emasculation is a process can be done in a flower where the flower is large, big in size. When it is a bud, we are able to open its petals with the help of a forceps, and easily we can remove the anthers. As a matter of fact, during emasculation or during artificial hybridization, generally the flowers, if they are bigger in size, it is possible. It is possible to remove the anthers easily and freely. Again, we will cover it with the help of a bag. Again, we will make a cross. Again, we will rebag. All these processes can be done. For example, if the plants are having small flowers, if the plants are having, if the selected, question number, if the selected plants are having, if the selected plants are having small flowers, in an inflorescence, compact inflorescence, small flowers like air pollinated plants, or monocot plants, or grass family plants, if you want to do artificial hybridization or a process of emasculation, how to carry out? They were so small that we cannot even in a position to open them and we can see their everything. How to do emasculation? Now, if the selected plants are having small flowers, the process of emasculation changes. And it is called, the process of emasculation change, and it is called hot water treatment. These methods are not given in the NCERT textbook. They were just away out surface of the subject. The process of the above the surface of the just outlines of the surface, emasculation chain, and it is called hot water treatment. What is hot water treatment? The hot water treatment is a word used for emasculation. What is this? When the flowers are small, see this, the total inflorescence which is having small flowers, the total inflorescence is bent in such a way, it is bent in such a way in a bowl having hot water 40 degrees centigrade to 50 degrees centigrade, hot water. So what is this? If you take this inflorescence having small flowers and we are going to bend this into the bowl, here like this. If you bend this in the bowl, If you bend this into the bowl for 10 minutes, not more, stipulated time for about 10 minutes, if the total inflorescence is bent in a bowl having hot water of 40 to 50 degrees centigrade temperature, it affects androecium but not gynoecium, because hot water is having effect. What effect? Inhibiting effect on the androecium, that is on the pollen grains. Pollen grains becomes sterile. Pollen grains becomes sterile. Even if they are falling, even if they were present, they are of no use. They are not able to germinate or produce any pollen tube. They will not affect any fertilization process. So, hot water treatment is a process of inhibiting the pollen or male characteristic features. If you put this more than 10 minutes, there is a chance that even ovary also will be affected and ovules will become sterile. There is no process of pollination or fertilization. So, why androecium or pollen are affected? Why ovules are not affected? Detailed questions, thought-oriented questions, thinking, knowledge-based questions, understanding-based questions. It is because androecium, even though it is having anther wall, this anther wall will be ruptured at the time of pollen maturity. So automatically hot water, it will affect this pollen grains directly. Whereas in the ovary, inside the ovule, ovary wall is there. Ovules, integuments are there, one or two. Inside the integuments, again embryo sac. Inside the embryo sac, female gamete, that is egg. So, when egg or female gamete is covered with many multiple layers, within these 10 minutes, it is not going to get affected. If we put more time, it also will be affected. So, hot water treatment is a method of emasculation in plants having small flowers. Hot water treatment affects pollen, which will become sterile. Artificial hybridization. Now, we have seen in the classes in sexual reproduction, what is sexual reproduction? What are the two types of asexual and sexual reproductions? Various concepts of in a flower, how many parts are there? Types of androeciums. In androecium, structure of the stamen, filament, anther. Inside the anther, whether it is a bilobed or unilobed, dithecous or monothecous, microsporangia, structure, anther wall. Inside the anther wall, what are the layers? Inside sporogenous tissue or microsporangium, pollen sac, pollen chamber. Sporogenous tissue becomes pollen mother cells. After that, they undergoes meiosis, that's followed by mitosis. Finally, a pollen gland with two male gametes are produced, which are called male gametophytes. Later, we have studied. This is called microsporogenesis. Microsporogenesis and microgametogenesis leads to having pollen grain with two male gametes. So it is called male gametophyte. And when megasporogenesis or the process of formation of embryo sac with egg apparatus, synergids, antipodals, central cell, which is called female gametophyte, female gamete, synergids, central cell, antipodals. So in our previous classes, we have seen how all these structures are formed gradually in a flower, in the male reproductive sex organ, in the female reproductive sex organ. Now we are having both are ready here. Inside the pistil, in the ovary, inside the ovule, embryo sac or female gametophyte is ready. And in the anther, a pollen grain is about to release either a two-celled stage or three-celled stage. Now it is fallen on the, landed on the stigma of the pistil, and it is about to germinate and already germinated. It has produced pollen tubes. Why pollen tube is there? To carry the male gametes. Why it has to carry the male gametes? Because male gametes are non-motile. They are not able to move. So, to carry the non-motile male gametes, there is a requirement of pollen tube production. And pollen tube enters into the, in the last class we have seen, it enters into the style and enters into the ovary, into the ovule. Pollen pistil interaction. Then what happens? When we are going to study double fertilization, most important aspect of angiosperm, and it is the characteristic feature of angiosperms. Double fertilization. What is double fertilization? It is seen only in angiosperms. So it is a characteristic feature of, it is a unique character of angiosperm. Hence, it is a unique characteristic feature of angiosperms. Double fertilization is a characteristic feature of angiosperms, so it is called unique only to angiosperms. No other plant group, starting from in plant kingdom, algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes and gymnosperms, all these are exempted from this, because in these double fertilization is completely absent and only double fertilization seen in. Let us see what is this double fertilization. To understand, when a pollen tube enters into the embryo sac, the concept has been given like this. This is the egg cell. This is one synergid with filiform apparatus. This is another synergid with filiform apparatus. By the entry of pollen tube with two male gametes, a pollen tube consists of two male gametes, and it is entering into the embryo sac through one of the synergid. Why? Synergids are producing chemical substances which are in the form of filiform apparatus, finger-like projections at micropylar region. Hence, it is entering only out of the two synergids into one synergid. By the entry of the pollen tube, the synergid aborted, broken down. So only one synergid will be there. One synergid is removed, broken down, ruptured, aborted. This is central cell with two polar nuclei. In the beginning it is haploid, upper polar, lower polar. after the fusion nucleus or secondary nucleus are central cell. Central cell. On the opposite side, antipodals. Central cell, pollen tube, 2 male gametes, synergid, filiform apparatus. Now, once it enters into this, the apical portion of the pollen tube ruptures. It was given that it is having some porous nature and it breaks, or it may ruptures in the cytoplasm of this embryo sac or female gametophyte. Now, the 2 male gametes are released. 2 male gametes are released. When they were released, they were not having any motile structures like flagella or cilia. They were non-motile. By the cytoplasmic movements, by the cytoplasmic streaming, 1 male gamete fuses with the egg. Out of the 2 released male gametes, 1 male gamete fuses with egg or female gamete. N haploid male gamete and egg haploid. N plus N is equal to 2N. Both are haploid and both are same. This is also non-motile, this is also non-motile. So, this process is called syngamy. So, what is syngamy? The process of fusion of 1 male gamete with a egg. Syngamy or indirectly first fertilization. The second male gamete, the another male gamete fuses with central cell, that is male gamete N plus central cell 2N. N plus 2N results in 3N. Results in 2N. It develops into zygote. Syngamy, zygote, diploid. 3 nuclei are fused here. 1, 2, 3. 2 female nuclei, 1 male nuclei. So N plus 2N, 3N, triple fusion. So my dear students, if syngamy is first fertilization, N plus N2N zygote formation, triple fusion is considered as second fertilization. So both first and second are called double fertilization. It results in zygote formation. Triple fusion results in PEN, PEN, primary endosperm nucleus, which is always triploid. We'll see in the coming classes. Thoroughly see double fertilization in the form of a small structure. We will continue this in the next class. All the best.